Hello, everybody. This is JR, and we are here again with Three Things with JR. And it's hard to get excited and happy these days. I am generally a positive dude, and I look at the news, and it's hard to stay positive and hard to understand what the hell is going on right now. And so I wanted to record an extra episode because I had some thoughts I wanted to share. It is going to be a typical three things, but at the same time, maybe a little deeper. And at the end, maybe a little sillier, because I think we need a little bit of that. And then right there in the middle, a little more Beastie Boysier. So something like that. I'll start off by just something I noticed the other day listening to a podcast. I've been wondering, like, just how do they get all of these Zoom interviews to sound so good on these, professional high-level podcasts? On both sides. How does it not sound like someone's off in the distance on a phone, on a computer, over the internet? It sounds live and in studio, even though the timing's a little weird and all of that. And I was wondering, how do they both do that? How do they sound like they're both in the studio, even when one of them is clearly not in the studio? So it dawned on me, and I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I know how to use a computer. I should have thought of this. So I heard Conan O'Brien's interview with Ted Danson, which was, by the way, a fantastic episode of Conan O'Brien's podcast. And I was so happy to hear them play, at the end of the show, a recorded bit where the producers of the show were helping Ted Danson get his computer set up for the Zoom interview. And I realized that what they were doing was they were having Ted, and anytime they do interview anybody, they were having the interviewee record themselves separately. That way they could take the recording from the studio, combine it with the recording from, say, Ted Danson's computer, and voila, studio sound for both people. How cool is that? Also, Ted Danson has got to be one of the nicest, coolest celebrities there is. He couldn't have been more humble, nice, and funny, working through all the hiccups, getting his computer up and running. I just love that guy. And we've actually put this to use in the podcast I do at work, Crutchfield, the podcast. And it worked. It worked fantastic. We did a 3-person separate remote interview, 3 different people in their homes using their own microphones, recording each other, while we also had one big master recording of everything. We combined it all into one. And so one of our upcoming episodes is going to hopefully sound real professional-like, and I'm excited about that. All right, let's get into the things. This is a bonus episode. I'm not going to wait a week to put this one out because I feel like it needs to come out as soon as possible. Episode 10 drops today, Tuesday, June 2nd, and this is episode 11, and it is also dropping Tuesday, June 2nd. So 2 for the price of 1 this week. And let's get into the things. Thing number 1. I hate hate. I wish I knew what to say about race. As a white male, I think most of the time nothing is the right thing to say about race. But that can't be right. With race still such an issue in America, white people saying nothing is probably wrong. I think of all the times I've said nothing. I've been around white people that casually use the N-word and say horrible things about, quote, the Mexicans. And I said nothing. I didn't join in, but I also didn't say anything or make anyone aware that I found it unacceptable. And I do regret that. It's pretty easy to know what to say when something horribly and obviously racist happens, like a white cop killing an unarmed black man in handcuffs by kneeling on his neck. It's awful, and something needs to be done about it. And when the protests start, it's easy to get behind the sentiment. And when the protests go so far as to become riots and looting, it's less clear what to think and say about that for a white male. On the one hand, I can't help but think it's wrong to protest by destroying things, burning businesses, looting. But then it occurs to me that maybe things are just so bad that it actually takes this kind of extreme reaction to get people's attention. And it all becomes even less clear what, if anything, I should say about all this. This show is about my thoughts on various topics. Thing 1 is supposed to be some sort of deep thought. I wish I had an original deep thought that would help in the area of race in our time right now. I can't explain any of it. I am baffled by humans that hate others for something as simple as the color of their skin. I mean, really, there's plenty of legitimate reasons to actually hate people for the choices they make, for the people they hurt, for the horrible things they choose to do. And it seems to me that the hate that's built up in those that now protest is actually directed at people and systems that have made choices to hate based on the color of your skin. And I hate that it's come to that. I fucking hate hate. I hate racism. I love you, all of you, and I want to better understand what the hell is going on. Before we go to thing 2, we should do a drum solo. And we're back, and here it is. Thing number 2, the Beastie Boys. When Fight for Your Right came out, I was in high school. I was in, baby. It wasn't until very recently that I learned that Beastie Boys song was actually making fun of party animal frat guys in the song, in the video. If I had known that back then, I think I might have been able to use that argument when pleading with my mother to let me buy the album License to Ill and to watch the video on MTV. Well, I did watch it, but to watch it with permission would have been kind of fun. In other words, I'm a little late to the Beastie Boys party. I recently watched the Beastie Boys documentary on Apple TV Plus. I think that's the streaming service it's on. And I was already a casual fan. I've liked all the songs I've heard. It's been great, but I've never really, gone deep on their catalog. But now that I know who they are, how they came to be who they are, and how they got to where they are now, I'm a huge fan. It's all I've been listening to since watching Mike D and Adam Horowitz talk about the music, the message, the outfits, the tears, their mistakes, their setbacks, the death of Adam Yauch, and a lot more. I highly recommend the documentary and the music, especially the song Sabotage. Some of those words in that song almost seem to sort of capture the moment America is dealing with right now as this podcast goes out and has been dealing with for the past week. I can't stand it. I know you planned it. I'm going to set it straight this Watergate. But I can't stand rocking when I'm in this place. Because I feel disgrace because you're all in my face. But make no mistakes and switch up my channel. I'm Buddy Rich when I fly off the handle. What could it be? It's a mirage. You're scheming on a thing. That's sabotage. God, that feels poignant right now, and I thought I'd read a little bit of that to you. Man, I can't stand rocking when I'm in this place. When people are feeling the way they're feeling right now, it's hard to do what you do, to rock if you're a musician, to build a bridge if you're a bridge builder, to do what you do. It's hard to do it when I'm in this place. When we're in this place that we're in right now, it's tough. So thank you, Beastie Boys, for at least helping me a little bit to put some words behind these feelings. Thing number 3. This is where we usually get a little silly, and this one today will be no exception. My granddaughter, Aaliyah, as I record this, it is her second birthday. She turns 2 today, Monday, June 1st. And I got her an awesome present. The problem is somebody else got her the same exact awesome present and gave it to her first. They beat me to the punch. I'm not going to throw that person under the bus here on this podcast because it's not about that. It's about what am I going to do with the extra thing I bought Aaliyah. Aaliyah's my granddaughter. And what I bought her was a drum kit for kids, for toddlers. It's beautiful. It's plastic. It's got bright colors. Things light up when you hit the sticks. It makes pre-recorded sounds of cymbals and weird drums and other things. It's got sound effects. It's the coolest little toy for a 2-year-old to start playing the drums, which I really hope Aaliyah gets into. I was inspired to buy her this when my daughter Allison shared a video of a young girl playing the drums, and just in such ecstatic joy, she just couldn't help but scream as she's playing perfectly along with some kick-ass rock songs. And that's when I knew I was getting Aaliyah this for her birthday. And I am thrilled that she has one of these. And I think I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up and set it up here at my house. So when she comes to see Grandpa, she's going to have this toy handy. And as I was looking at the box the toy came in, it struck me that this toy must be sold in China. And to be sold in America, they translated all of the fun sayings on the outside of the children's toy box from Chinese to English. And the translation didn't work out too well. So I'm going to read you some quotes from the outside of the box. It's a intellectual toys, which not only could improve children's ability of practice, but also it's a gameplay. Yeah, that sounds awesome. It sounds like Donald Trump wrote it. Here are 5 things on the side of the box showing you the features. There's 5 buttons that gives you different sound effects, and this is the description of each of those buttons. The first one says, 5 beautiful songs with flickering lights to help develop the sight and hearing of children. Number 2, with high-fidelity sound effect, it can play like a real drum kit. Come and play Kids' Own Rhythm. I want to play Kids' Own Rhythm. That's the goal. Number 3, 4 types of funny sound effects. Come and have a try. Number 4, 10 beautiful songs. Move the drumsticks to play wonderful music. Practice children's ability to coordinate their hands and ears. Not their hand-eye coordination, but to coordinate their hands and ears, because it's a musical toy. That makes sense, I guess. 3 lively songs allow children to accompany to music by inspiration. Develop children's musical talent. Yes, it's an educational toy. Right at the top of the box it says, let's begin. Open wisdom door, achieve the future star. I get what they're saying. I'm not sure that's what they meant to say. And lastly, right on the front, it's got a picture of a kid using the drum set. And right there next to the little girl's hand with a little drumstick, it says percussion, music, exclamation point. So to all of my musician friends who play guitars and stringed instruments and horns and all that other stuff, and you joke about how drummers aren't musicians, I have proof. I have a drum set from China made for 2-year-olds that says percussion, music. So screw you guys. This drum set proves it. Drummers are musicians. It's pretty weak. I know. I get it. I couldn't play one lick of an actual tune. However, I can jam on the drums like a madman. And I think that might just do it here for 3 Things. Episode 11, the 11th thing. We're at the 11th hour, people. And I thought this might make sense as a bonus episode. So thank you so much for listening. I'll be back next week with episode number 12. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. I haven't written it yet. I haven't thought about it yet. I'm sure I can come up with some things for you, though. Thank you so much for listening, and we're going to go out on a drum solo.